people who I interviewed who were not professionals, but rather were the caregivers of people who had dementia, talked about the stigma of the diagnosis. And I think that that's why for the people that I spoke to, and it makes sense it would be for so many, it takes so long to actually go and pursue the diagnosis. I don't know how many people I spoke to who said, you know, for years my husband had been working full-time, active and engaged in his community. He did our family finances. He may have, you know, been responsible for the upkeep of the house. Remember, I'm speaking to women who are in their 70s and 80s, so there's a very traditional way of dividing domestic chores. But he would forget things. He would forget familiar names. He would not remember things that his personality previously he never forgot, and those things embarrassed him. And he didn't want to tell other people, even our children, this often came up, didn't want to tell our children that he was struggling with these things. So we would dismiss them as blips. Oh, he forgot the neighbor's name. Oh, he forgot to pay this bill. They're becoming more frequent. And I think that is about a kind of internalized shame that is so sad, right? And obviously the people around him, him being these many husbands, would not have in any way judged him, but there was a lack of power, a lack of authority, a sort of decline that was difficult to accept, and he could no longer, they couldn't take care of themselves and their families the way they had previously, and so it stopped them from finding out what was wrong. And you know, maybe by delaying that, stopped them from being able to control the symptoms too. And a lot of the caregivers that I spoke to recognized that, or at least believed that if they had perhaps been able to get to the doctor sooner, perhaps had been able to get a diagnosis earlier, there would have been more options for managing the symptoms. But it was the most common story. Embarrassment and delayed investigation.